In this episode of American Greed, on an exclusive island, word spreads about a new arrival.
Oh, there's like Your Highness or His Highness.
A Saudi prince has blessed Miami with his presence.
He talked the part, he dressed the part, he drove the part.
New comments.
With a massive oil IPO looming, His Highness brings in more than $8 million by promising investors a share of his unfathomable wealth.
The idea that there was a Saudi prince in Miami, it whet the appetite of very many people.
But despite the bling he shows off on Instagram,
you know what it is. You know what it is.
It turns out that this Saudi prince is just the king of cons.
He looked like an overweight Hispanic guy from South America. It just looked preposterous. Preposterous.
So who is this royal scammer? And how does he pull off his princely scheme?
There could be any number of reasons why people find him to be credible, but they do. And they do it again and again. It's really quite astounding.
Just off the causeway connecting downtown Miami to Miami Beach, there's a small driveway few have ever seen. Here, cars board a ferry that crosses a narrow channel to an ultra-exclusive enclave called Fisher Island. Forget 90210. Fisher Island has an average salary of $669,000 a year, making 33109 America's richest zip code.
You've got Tom Cruise, Oprah Winfrey, you name it, they've got residents there.
And you have to take a ferry to get there. And they leave on the half hour or so. There's a sense of exclusivity.
In March 2017, a man in his late 40s takes the keys to his new penthouse home on the island. When he does, he signs the papers as Khalid bin Sultan Al Saud. He shares a last name with members of Saudi Arabia's ruling family. And to those who catch a glimpse, he looks the part.
He's got the, Rolexes, he's got the elaborate jewelry, the Cartier bracelets.
He had all the high-end luxury vehicles, Bentleys, Ferraris, Rolls Royces.
When he hits the streets, the prince is accompanied by a bodyguard with a badge that reads Diplomatic Security Service. And his cars are adorned with diplomatic plates. Among those the prince meets in Miami is Hall of Fame sportscaster LESLEY VISSER.
He would dress in the flowing linen, always looked like the latest. He wore the latest Gucci fur slippers, which I had to go home and Google. I mean, I'd never seen anything like that. And of course, he had that ridiculous necklace for Foxy, which was diamond encrusted like, Elizabeth Taylor used to wear.
Though Visser has spent her life around the good and the great, the prince impresses her with various stories about his royal upbringing and deep pockets.
I remember once my husband Bob asked him which one of the king's wives was his mother, and he said, the good one. And you just didn't doubt him. He talked the part, he dressed the part, he drove the part. So we said, wow, that's really interesting.
Soon, Fisher Island's residents are whispering about the enclave's newest arrival.
Oh, there's like Your Highness or His Highness. People from Fisher Island didn't know how to respond, and so he'd have one of people in his crew be like, well, you can just bow a little bit, and, he is a prince after all, and people are like, okay, I guess I will do that.
The prince isn't just making his presence known to his neighbors. His Instagram is an ostentatious catalog of his royal wealth.
You know what it is? We shut the pools down. so that a boss can swim in private. Yeah, you know what it is. Presidential suite. Tell him, Foxy, what a new bathroom looked like. $300,000 bathroom.
For anyone considering doing business with him, it's ready proof that he's a guy who knows how to make big money.
Like at first glance, if you were looking at it, you would just think, oh, this is another one of these I call them peacocks, you know, who's just showing off his life on Instagram. You know, the beautiful life, you know, the sweet life.
But the great thing about the Instagram account is he loves his dog. And he has this dog named Foxy. And he treats Foxy like a queen.
Show them your new bed, Foxy. 57 Cadillac. License plate says spoiled.
But Foxy isn't the only royal pictured here. There are also photos of Saudi Arabia's ruling family with captions like fam and uncle. If this man, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, truly is the prince's uncle, he's not a bad relative to have. According to a 2001 CNBC report, Al-Walid has an Airbus A340, a Boeing 767, and a 283-foot yacht once owned by Donald Trump. Then there's his house.
Quaint, it isn't. Its 317 rooms include 18 sitting rooms, 15 dining rooms, 10 bedrooms, 16 pantries, and 12 elevators. The garage is big too. It has to be to accommodate the prince's hundreds of cars. There's the obligatory rolls, and of course, the Batmobile.
With a combined wealth in the trillions, there are two things most Americans know about the Saudi royal family. One, they're rich beyond imagination. And two, their money comes from oil. For decades, the kingdom's wealth has been intertwined with the Saudi Arabian Oil Company, or ARAMCO.
We have no official evaluation of what this company's worth because it's privately held, but it's estimated to be in the trillions.
We've talked about their IPO.
In 2016, word begins to spread that ARAMCO is going public.
Plus, we'll bring you an update on the timing for the world's largest ever IPO, Saudi Aramco, a giant.
Today, new comments out this morning from the Saudi Crown Prince. He says the Aramco IPO will still take place next year.
And the valuation of the company could top $2 trillion.
It was definitely all over the news, and people were trying to get in on the preferred stock. People were trying to angle to get as much stock as they could.
Following the announcement, the new arrival on Fisher Island begins offering investors a way to share in the wealth.
He's claiming that he owns a percentage of Saudi Aramco, and he tells people, I'm going to sell you a percentage of my ownership in Saudi Aramco, and then when it goes public, you're going to make 5 times the amount of your money.
With such a potential upside, there are plenty of people willing to hear out Miami's Saudi prince.
There's no shortage of U.S., British, foreign investors and business folks that want to do business with the royal family.
Who doesn't want to at least hear what a person has to say that has all these things at their disposal and is selling a good deal to me.
Whether it's on the hot streets of Miami or somewhere else altogether, it's hard to forget a first encounter with the man who calls himself Prince Khalid bin Al Saud.
I met him when I was sitting in a bar there in Eaton Rapids. Eaton Rapids is a very small town, and it's rural country. Here he walks in wearing a very long white fur coat, and he has a haircut that's kind of like a bowl over his head, and he's got a lot of bling on, and he's got long acrylic nails, and he's quite flamboyant, and everybody in that place just stopped and looked like, oh my God, what do we have here?